Doing all right?
Yeah, what about you?
Yeah, I can't complain. So, what do you think about veganism?
I think it's like there so full on meat. I'm not like that. I'm like sometimes I'm not eating meat all the time. That's something at least. It's something
Sure. Is there a particular reason you avoid meat at times?
because most of the time I just don't really like it.
Okay.
I don't
Um.
like the taste of meat.
Okay. Do you know like what the definition of veganism is?
Not really.
So um the it's a philosophy which seeks to avoid animal products as far as is
Abuse.
yeah, avoid
Oh,
animal products and abuse as far as is practicable and possible. So
yeah.
it does dictate what a person eats, but it's not necessarily just a diet.
Oh,
But it doesn't dictate what they eat. It dictates what they won't eat.
oh.
So do you think do you think you agree that we should avoid animal products wherever possible?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So can I ask why you still consume animal products?
Cause it's just like main food also. There are so many foods with like animal products in too.
Yeah. Yeah, there are a lot. Um, but do you think it's possible to thrive on a plant-based diet?
Yeah,
So if you're against uh, harming animals unnecessarily and think that we can survive and thrive on plant-based diet, and shouldn't like in order to align your actions with your beliefs, shouldn't you go vegan?
yeah, also, but like I think that it's okay to like eat cheese and drink milk.
Okay, so you think like vegetarianism or being a vegetarian would be more in line?
Yeah,
Can I ask, so why do you think that dairy and eggs is acceptable?
I don't know, it's because you're not really harming the animal in a way.
Hmm. Uh, do you know, I mean, you know why cows produce milk, right?
Yeah,
Can you can you tell me?
to feed their children in a
Okay.
way,
Yeah.
I'd say.
Yeah, so they produce milk just like all other mammals to feed their offspring. Um, but what humans have done is we get them pregnant so that they start lactating, and then we take the baby the calves away so that they don't drink more milk than we want them to. So
Oh, damn.
we separate the calves from the mother cows, and then we milk them. And the calves, if they're male calves, they'll probably be used as veal. If they're female calves, then they'll grow up to be dairy cows just like their moms. And in a couple of years, when their milk production starts to go down, they'll be killed for cheap meat.
Oh,
So the dairy industry is really still the meat industry with extra steps, and those steps are arguably
mm-hmm.
cruel.
But if you're vegan, but you have like chickens as a pet and they lay eggs, but they're non-fertile, does that also count?
Uh, Backyard eggs, they're kind of like an odd subject. I think in general, if you don't already have backyard chickens, then getting those chickens is still a big issue because they come from a breeder. Um, that's going to have all the same issues at the beginning of the egg industry has, where they're throwing all the male chicks into either a blender or a bag to suffocate because they're not profitable. Um, if somehow you already have chickens, uh, chickens lay a lot of eggs and it's really tough on them. I believe there's something you can give them that helps them lay less eggs, and you can crush their eggs and feed them back to them for the nutrients that they're losing. Um, so it's still probably a good idea, and it's not the most
To let
ethical
them
way
eat
to do it.
it?
Yeah, it's not the most ethical thing to, even if you have backyard chickens, to eat their eggs.
Okay.
Do you still feel the same about eggs and dairy, or have we turned a corner?
It depends really.
I mean, are you getting your eggs from backyard chickens?
I Yeah, sometimes, most of the time.
And where do those chickens?
I self don't have the chickens. A friend of mine has a lot of chickens in his backyard.
Hmm, is he getting these from a breeder or is he breeding them himself?
I don't know. I should ask him really.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, even if he's breeding them himself, it's kind of like breeding dogs that have health effects.
Mutations.
Yeah, because so like the original jungle fowl that chickens are like descended from only laid a dozen or so eggs a year, and we bred them to lay hundreds of eggs a year, and it's tougher on their body than it has to be. You know, ideally they would lay a dozen or so eggs. So if you keep breeding them and it's hard on their body, then you're breeding them into unnecessary suffering.
Hmm.
So maybe I haven't convinced you on backyard eggs, it sounds like, but we're at least cutting out meat and dairy, right?
Yeah.
Right on, man. Do you have any questions as far as like what to switch to?
I think I will still like be eating fish.
Okay. What makes you think that fish are different than say land animals?
I don't really know, but oh, they like get to live in a more open space to live
Hmm.
in. Like in the farm animals, they have to like live in a cage all next to each other.
Okay. Yeah, it's definitely tough uh, seeing them smashed in there together. But even if those animals were treated well their whole life, like they still have to be killed, right?
Mhm.
And if we're killing things unnecessarily, then we're doing unnecessary harm to these animals. It's kind of the same thing with fish, where even if they do get to swim and be free their whole life, we're still, yanking them out of the water and suffocating them
Yeah, that's
unnecessarily.
true.
And, drowning is supposed to be one of the worst ways to die. I would imagine drowning in the air is pretty terrible also.
Yeah.
And, some people, fish are foreign enough from them. They just look different, they act different, but they're still sentient, so they can still experience the world and they suffer as they die.
Mhm. The thing with being vegan is it's always more expensive.
So it's not always more expensive. There's a study out there that shows that being vegan is the cheapest way to eat. So, staples at the grocery store, like pasta, potatoes, beans, all these things are some of the cheapest things in the store. Um,
That's true.
yeah, so, vegan junk food, it is slightly more expensive than, say, regular omnivorous junk food. Um, but your staples and how you would normally eat day to day would end up slightly cheaper.
Okay.
And there is like a month or so where you're kind of relearning how to cook certain things. Your taste buds adjust a little bit, so like there's a bit of an adjustment. But after that,
Mhm.
everything's just continues as normal. You make the food that you like. There's no extra steps compared to
Mhm.
how you would cook now, really. So we're going vegan, vegetarian, pescatarian.
I'll probably be like middle.
Like still omnivorous, eating
Yeah.
animals.
Just like a little bit less meat.
Hmm. So I could understand how thinking, that just a little less meat is good, and it's better than eating your regular meat-filled
Nothing.
diet,
Mhm.
right? But even if you're eating less, for those animals that are killed so that you can eat them, it doesn't really change anything for them, right?
Mhm. They're still killed.
Right. fewer numbers are killed, maybe, but to the particular individual, they're still killed.
Yeah.
So do you think what is it? What is it about those individuals that, or about you eating those individuals that makes it okay to still pay for them to be killed?
Oh, I don't even know actually.
Right, because if it's wrong to do it all of the time, it's probably wrong to do it any of the time.
Yeah.
You know, dietary choices are ones we make consistently, so it's definitely like the easiest or the biggest change you can make. But there are also other areas you could look at. You could look at your clothing, like if you wear wool or leather, that'd be something to look at alternatives. And then if the uh, cosmetic products like shampoo and soap that you use are tested on animals, there are definitely tons of brands out there that don't test
They
on animals.
test things on animals.
Yeah, um, a lot of like anything that's gonna be used on the market, a lot of times to pass, I guess, certain regulations that have to be tested, but not everything has to be tested. Um, so it can be put to market without testing.
Oh.
And they supposedly it's to see if it's safe, but you know they'll apply tons of this product to animals, and then when they're done with them, they kill them.
Why did they just kill him?
But they don't need them anymore, right? And it's not like they're gonna wait for them to heal from being tested on to run more
Yeah.
tests. They could just get more. At least they view them as a product, as a commodity.
Well, I'll be on my way now. So bye.
All right, best of luck, man.
Same with you.